optionnet.com. I would like to welcome you to OptionNet Explorer webinar. I hope you can hear me because this is my first webinar, so excuse me for some technical difficulties. Anyway, I know that many of you are already using One Software and other people are considering to get it. So I invited Andy Mitchell from One Software to make a presentation to our members. And before we start, I would like to make a full disclosure. Steady Options team is using One Software and highly recommends it. I personally using it. And Steady Options team does not receive any compensation from One Software provider for endorsing the software. And One Software provides an exclusive discount for Steady Options members. So you can see on your screen right now the sign-up screen on the OptionNet Explorer website, which provides some discounts for Steady Options members. And let's begin. Andy, so I'm going to make you a presenter, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone.
Okay, you're presenter now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay, great. Yeah, so hi everyone. My name's Andy Mitchell. I'm from OptionNET Explorer. Kim's kindly asked me to give a brief demonstration of the software, its capabilities. So what I thought we'd probably do is start off with a walkthrough of the common use cases that our users employ using OptionNet. Basically, there's two main functions of the software. The first being backtesting strategies using our historical database, and the second, live trading, keeping recording of your live trades, you're monitoring your positions, etc., and also now sending direct orders to selected brokers. So if you can see my screen, one's laid out on a single main window. We have the option chain, most notably in this area, with the first three expiration cycles shown, where you can move forwards to further out options using the two buttons here. You can scroll up and down, etc. Above that, we have the underlying section. So this box allows you to change the underlying, and then this shows you the underlying information high-low, open, high-low, close, changes, standard deviation moves, etc. Next to that, we have a what we call an open position box. It allows you to select a specific position or start a new position if you want to start a brand new trade. Select start new trade. If you want to add to an existing trade, as in adjust it or close it, then you'd select the trade from this box. It also shows you the number of days that you've been in that trade, the standard deviation move since the start of that trade.
I'm sorry, Andy?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Maybe make it full screen.
Okay.
It will be probably easy to see.
Is that any better?
Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
The implied volatility move since the start of the position, maximum margin and P&L, and then down the bottom here, the specific Greeks for that position, with your cumulative profit and loss. So one of the good things about One is every time you make an adjustment, your broker might not include the realised profit and loss for that part of the trade that you've closed out, whereas One keeps a tally of that and adds it in to this bottom figure here. Excuse me. And then on the right-hand side is the main risk chart display. So we've got the main risk chart above, and then below, down here, the Greeks in a sort of historical, histogram bar chart of the various Greeks that you want to select. You can change those by adding more or less, whatever you prefer. And then there's some tabs at the top, so you can see the price chart for the underlying, zoom out or zoom in, various indicators you can select at the bottom. Movement analysis gives you a breakdown of the underlying movement during a specific period of time, which we can have a look at later on. And then statistics and fundamentals, this is an index, so it's probably not got that many, but you can see the number of trades, open interest, volume, trade count, etc., and then the breakdown by exchange. So that's the basics of the main window. If we start from the beginning, we can add a new account. So if we make an account called the options, save the account, and then we change the account at the top. You can have, I think it's 200 accounts or thereabouts, so plenty of room to organise your trades. If we then select a specific underlying, there's a drop-down box where we can select based on name or description, and by type, index or equities. So if we stay with RUT, it's quite a popular income vehicle. We can select the trading date and time. So this is where we access the historical data in our database. If we can go backwards by day, or by hour, or by 5-minute intervals, or we can go to the high of the day, at the end of the day, the high of the day, or the next or previous adjustment. These we call these jump buttons, so they're a quick way to access specific key points in your either your trade or the trading day. So if we go to the end of the day, if we've got a 50 days to expiration for the July cycle, we could add a specific trade on here. So first of all, we check that says start new trade. We're entering a brand new trade here, and we could put an at the money butterfly on. Quite simply entering the positive contracts you're buying, the negative contracts you're selling, and then it instantly plots a risk chart in the right-hand window. And then simply all we do is, once we're happy with the Greeks, or if we want to flatten them out a little bit more, we can do. But once we're happy with what we see, maybe we don't want to add any more, we can just commit that trade, type in an easy to remember name, apply. We can select a type of trade. We can also change the spread price. So perhaps we're going to get filled on the mid. Perhaps we'll get a slightly worse price, or even a better price. So we can change all that information here before we commit it. We can add comments to remind us why we entered the trade, or why we've made an adjustment, or even key points throughout the trade, so that we can perhaps learn from it when we review the trade later on. So if we save that then moves from the model column over to the position column. So now it's a confirmed trade, and basically all that does is it enters the actual transactions into the trade log. Here you can again still change the fill prices or the commissions, whatever we want to do there. We can always go back and we can always tweak it. So now we've got our committed trade, we can walk forward through that trade and see how it performs. So we can do this on a day-by-day basis. So if we zoom in, probably can see the trade a bit better. So you can see when we committed the trade, we could have put a profit target and a max loss in. They default in for a specific trading strategy. You can override those at any point. That shows you visually on the chart when you've hit that profit target or approaching or surpassed that max loss. So it's a visual representation of your trading plan directly on the risk chart. So if we can continue walking through day by day or hour by hour. We can also fast forward. We have a playback feature, which automatically goes through each snapshot of our historical data in the interval that we've specified. So here it's going through every 5-minute snapshot that we have automatically without keep pressing the 5-minute plus button. You can speed it up, so you get a very quick sort of recording or playback of the market as it happens. You can stop at any time, make an adjustment. You could go back a few days and do some things differently. You can copy trades to analyze how, say you've made an adjustment in one way and it didn't quite work out. You could copy a trade, go back, delete that adjustment, and make the adjustment in a different way to see how it fared, with a slightly different adjustment. So lots of functionality or lots of flexibility, certainly, with backtesting the trade itself. We get some key statistics on the trade, so it shows you that we've been in the trade 8 days now. It's moved, the underline has moved 0.21 standard deviation, so very little really. The dark blue cone shows the 1 standard deviation movement since the start of the trade. The light cone shows a 2 standard deviation move. So you can see at any point where you are in relation to the standard deviations, and also you can analyze exactly how the adjustments you might make will affect the profit and loss based on the movement of the underlying. So this is quite a nice visual illustration of the standard deviation move. But essentially, this is the up-to-date movement from the start of the position. It shows us what's happened to the underlying implied volatility since the start of the position, what our max margin has been, and then what our total P&L is. So that includes all adjustments. It can include commissions, or exclude commissions. We can change that, or we can even add round trip commissions, so closing commissions as well, so that we can see all that information, and that will probably make your decisions on adjustments slightly different, because commissions can greatly affect your profitability. Certainly in the early days when you're trading small, a small account. So all this is included or excluded depending on your preferences. So going back to the option chain, then we can also change these columns to see which defaults to show you the delta. We can have the gamma, theta, vega, extrinsic value, trade leg P&L. So how each trading leg has performed or contributed to the overall profitability of the trade since the start of the trade or since that adjustment, the last adjustment. You can see the original implied volatility of each leg. You can see the IV change, the number of trades for that day, or in fact for that day and up to that point in time. So as we go back, you can see they get slightly less. You can also see the number of trades that have occurred, not just the volume, but the actual number of trades. the average trade size, and then open interest. So you can change all these columns just to give you more information about how you decide to manage your position, or what best meets your style. So that's basically how to put on a trade. If you want to take it off, you just put the reverse number of contracts in, or you can also, if you've got lots of legs, you can enter them all automatically. So that will net out the open trade positions, and then you can commit the trade, and that closes the trade then. So that's how many of our users use OptionNET to backtest strategies. So they'll create lots and lots of trades in an account, analyze how well or not they've adjusted and adapted to the changing market conditions, and then perhaps they'll go back and change a parameter or something that they'll deem that will make the system or strategy more profitable. So they can go back and quite quickly build up a well-performing system just by using the historical data. To help to do that, we have the reports, which shows them every single trade that they've entered or imported, and we'll go through that in a minute. So it will show you every single trade that they've created inside one. So when we selected Start New Trade in this box, the OptionNET software automatically assigns a unique trade ID. So that uniquely identifies that position through the life of the position. So this allows us to group lots of transactions or trades into a single position. And this shows us a report of all the positions that have been entered into the system. And then we can also look individually at all the trades that combine to make that position through the life of the trade. So this level report matches off opens with closes, or if you don't like that, you can see every single transaction on a time basis. So the opens and close aren't matched off in this view. You can export the trades to Excel or a comma-separated file, and then we can also group trades. So if we were wanting to group by underlying, for example, you know, some of these trades, they can be hundreds or thousands of positions. So to make it more easy to analyze and view your performance, you might want to group a trade. So you just drag a column. If we want to group by underlying, you drag it to this area, and then it automatically groups all your trades by underlying. So these are all the SPX trades. These are all the RUT. And if we don't want it grouped anymore, we can drag it back. We have some predefined groupings that you could select. So this groups by accounts. Now that's our new account, Steady Options account. We have the live trades account, or we can have no groups. We can also filter trades. So say we only wanted to view the SPX trades, so we can just do that very easily. Or we could create a custom filter. So if there's not a filter that meets our criteria, then we can make our own up. So if we want to say, if the underlying is SPX and the profit and loss is greater than 0, so we apply that, that shows us all the trades that match that criteria. So there's lots of possibilities with this. It's great, immensely flexible in terms of analysing your historical performance in your backtesting and also your live trades. So when we've created a filter or not, depending on our preferences, there's another tab here. We can analyse the trades that we have selected. So if we remove all the filters, so there's no filters, this is showing us our entire account. We go to analysis, and it shows us an equity curve of all those trades that we've selected. You can see this is a demo account, so we've made this to look quite profitable, obviously. And then if we can also see statistics on all those trades put together. So it tells the total number, the net profit and loss, the profit factor, the win ratio, the number of trades for both winners and losers, the gross P&L, average P&L, largest dollar amounts, winners and losers, average days in trade, max consecutive winners or losers, total time in market, total drawdown, or max drawdown rather, and the number of break-even trades. So there's quite a lot of information easily available there. Where this gets quite powerful is we can go back to here and we can just look at certain trades. So say we just want to see our performance only on live trades. We can quite quickly select the only the live trades on this main window, and then that now shows us all this same information but only for our live trade account. Or we could go back and only look for the paper money account. So all the information changes according to whatever you select on this main account. If we show them all again, so you can quite easily build up some quite valuable statistics just using this report alone. So that shows us again the equity curve. We can view by account, so it shows you your most profitable accounts. Some users actually use a different account for a different strategy, so you can quite quickly see which ones are working, which ones aren't. You can see your performance by how long you've spent in the trade, so the number of days that you've been in a trade to see how profitable or not that might be, see if there's any patterns. The number of days to expiration that you enter the trade. Again, you can look for patterns to see how profitable or not certain strategies or your performance is. Again, by expiry, trade type, and underlying. So maybe you absolutely love trading the rut, but you don't. If the performance isn't very good on the rut, then you probably should trade something else. Hopefully, this type of report will enable you to identify that information quite quickly. So basically, that's the reporting capabilities that we have at OptionNET. Going back to the price chart, so we can set various settings on the price chart. We can have various indicators. We have a whole host of indicators that can be added to the chart at the bottom. Lots of different ones to use there. Add moving averages to the top of the chart, and this also saves against your profile. So when you log out and log back in, perhaps even on a different computer, all this is remembered for you to go back to very quickly and easily to pick up where you left off. So we can also import trades if you trade via a broker and you've got a whole host of trades that you've already had filled. We can import those into one. We support Thinkorswim, Options Express, Trade Monster, with more to come, hopefully. Well, that's now Options House. But lots of capability to import your existing trades into accounts. And then once they're into your OptionNet account, you can then go back and you can do the reporting on your performance. So even if your current broker doesn't provide that capability, if you import it into OptionNet, then you should be able to see what your performance was and analyze how to improve, or maybe it's exactly as you desire it to be. So there's quite a lot of flexibility again in terms of importing existing trades, not only adding new trades. So if we now go to look at the closeout trade, the main, so that's essentially very quickly the backtesting capability of OptionNet. Our historical data goes back to January 2005 currently for end of day, and then starts at for 5-minute intervals intraday on October 2010. We are looking to add more, at least a few more years, more intraday to that database, so that you can give more granularity to your backtests. End of day is fine, but 5-minute data shows you significant changes in the P&L and your trading decisions that we deem that to be quite useful. So the second use for OptionNet in terms of recording your trades is through the broker data interfaces that we provide. We have a number of these available: Interactive Brokers, Options House, Thinkorswim, and more recently Tradia. So if you have a live funded account with one of these, or even a demo account in some instances, then you'll be able to draw live data from live or delayed data, depending on your account status, from your broker account without paying additional fees for data. So if we select Interactive Brokers, there's a few settings that we can change here, but essentially once you're running the TDS desktop application, that's capable of sending data or underlying and option price quotes to OptionNet, providing you've got sufficient market data subscriptions with IB. So it's very simple. We select the broker data feed on that drop down. Then we just press the live button. So this whole area controls the point in time that we're looking at. So we use the day backwards and forwards, and the hour and the 5 minutes to navigate through time, so that you can historically backtest your strategies. And when you're moving towards trading your strategies for real, then you can press the live button, and that feeds in live market data to OptionNet. So we now see the Russell updating in real time, both the underlying and the options themselves. We can add trades in real time again, so perhaps another butterfly. We can commit that trade to either the OptionNet database. So in that respect, it's a paper trade. It's just stored inside the program for your display, really. It doesn't go to the broker, it's just for your paper trading. So again, we have the exact same trade documentation window. Again, you can enter a helpful trade name, category, start new trade because we're opening a brand new trade, adjust the fill prices, set, and the only difference or the addition for live trades is we get these extra few boxes which allows us to control the order type, so whether it's a limit or a market order, and or the time in force. So again, same comments. So the only difference is you press the interactive brokers button and that will send it to TWS and it'll be filled. Well, it'll be submitted instantly, waiting to be filled, and you'll see that pop up on the TWS desktop application. Or if we just save it, then it doesn't go to TWS, it doesn't go to your broker, just gets stored in OptionNET for your ability to track it. So they're the decisions. If you do send it to interactive brokers, obviously it also gets stored in OptionNET so that you can track that as well. The only difference is you would have to adjust the fill prices manually in the trade log once it's been filled. Currently, it doesn't. IB doesn't report back to, or we don't receive that information to be able to update that automatically. So once you've saved it or you've sent it to IB, then you can just watch it on the main window. So this is our live trade happening right now. When there's as the price changes, you'll see the risk chart change in real time. You'll see the profit and loss change, the Greeks change, etc. So for monitoring live trades, obviously that's one live trade. We could quite easily start another live trade, and we can keep these two separate. So this is a butterfly. Maybe we want to have start a calendar as well. So we can enter the transactions required for the calendar. Again, trade, enter a trade name. Comments, trade category, and even the trade name is optional. So if you don't want to record that information, you don't have to. I quite like the comments. It helps me track the reasons for doing things. So the reasons why I entered today and not yesterday, and the reasons why I adjusted when I did, or why I waited. So I do find the comments quite useful. So again, if we wanted to send it directly to TWS, to our account, we could press that button. Or if we want to just do this as a paper trade, then we just save it to our local database. So once we press save, again, this is updating in real time. So we've got the P&L, the deltas, the gammas, theta, everything updating. The T0 line, which is the line which the current pricing model curve, we can project that forward using these controls. So we can do this in live or in while we're backtesting historical data. So we can jump forwards a number of days, and you can see how the line moves as time progresses. You can see the standard deviation bars change according to the number of days that you're projecting forward. So this is 6 days forward. The dark blue again is the 1 standard deviation. The light blue is the 2 standard deviation. We can adjust the volatility. The sort of orangey colour on my screen, band across the T0 line is the days range of the underlying. So it helps you to keep track of where the underlying has moved in the day, in the trading session. So you can see that it's projected from yesterday's close, the one standard deviation. It's almost dropped down to almost one standard deviation level, and then it's obviously come back up throughout the rest of the trading session. So you have some sort of reference point as to where the underlying has moved before you place the trade and also during the trade. Again, you see the profit target and max loss, which we can take off if we don't like them. You see your comments in the top right hand corner of the risk chart. It also shows you the realised P&L, which is for our commissions in this case so far. But if you'd made adjustments later on, then it would also show the result of those adjustments in the realised P&L. It shows you also the open legs and the deltas of each open leg. And then the lower left-hand corner shows you the expiration lines and the dates for those expirations. So now we've got two trades on, we can quite quickly swap between those very easily. We can also monitor multiple trades across multiple underlines and accounts. So we use the monitor grid and the monitor doc. So this is the grid. It's just a tabulated form showing all your open positions across all accounts, across all underlines, and again this updates live. So you see the underlying price, the change in the underlying price, standard deviation move today of the underlying price, the margin of the open position, the current profit and loss and percent in relation to margin, the 1 day 1 standard deviation move down. So that's what the profit and loss is likely to be if we project forwards 1 day and 1 standard deviation down, and again the 1 day 1 standard deviation up. This is based on no volatility change, just time and underlying. And then we see the deltas, so the position deltas, gamma, theta, vega, and then the theta delta ratio, so theta divided by delta, to be able to easily monitor all your trades from one position, from one window. So that's what we call the grid. We can actually, if we click on a certain trade, so if we select, that's the trade we're currently in. If we select that one, we can change the main chart to view that specific trade. If we want to go back to that one, it's quite easy to do. We can go across different accounts, different underlines. So it's a one single window that has your view of all your either live or paper trades for you. We also have that same information graphically. So that's the grid, showing it in a tabulated form, and then this is the doc that shows in a visual form, so a graphical form. So you see each individual position risk chart updating again in real time, connected to your broker data interface with no data charges presumably, and these allow you to easily monitor all your trades either visually or tabulated format from a single position. So you can put that on a different screen or whatever you want, and then just glance at it every. Well, this is how I do it. I mean, I'm sure different people do it in different ways, but I glance at it every now and then to see if they need adjusting or they need some further analysis. And if they do, I can quite quickly select it. If I select, so that's my butterfly, that's the trade we're currently looking on the main window, and if I click that one, the main window changes to be the calendar. So very easily, very quickly, you can access the required trade that needs attention. As you hover over this, there's a slightly larger pop-up window that shows you the trade. Often there can be lots and lots of trades across the whole window. It could be 10 trades, and it shows you a little larger image of the trade that you're hovering over to get a little bit more information before you decide you want to pull that trade up on the main one window. So that's essentially OptionNet in a whistle-stop tour, really. Multiple trades, multiple underlines, all accessible quite quickly. All the information is collated for you automatically. There's very little manual intervention required unless you want to import trades. The trades are organised into easy to manage trade positions or trade IDs. We use lots of reporting capabilities, and that's essentially it. We do have some documentation that's available online with some videos at the bottom of the screen, ability to put questions in and search the online help printout if needed. We also have we call it support suite, so a support desk where you can instantly chat to us if you need help, or you can submit a ticket if you can't find the answer you're looking for. We aim to return your ticket and answer your question as soon as we can. We have a knowledge base which provides information on topics that we've had numerous questions about. So we try and create a new article if it's a popular question. For example, recently an antivirus software blocked our installations. We contacted the antivirus software company, and we also put instructions on resolving that onto our knowledge base, and so that can be quickly resolved. So we use that as a handy place to provide time-sensitive information. And we have a news feed that tells the user when new versions are available and what might be what new features we've brought out in that latest version. So that's essentially OptionNet. If there's any questions or any comments?
Yeah, I think something else that is worth mentioning, Andy mentioned support, and I can testify that I had to use support several times, and I found it like really exceptional. I mean, the problem was resolved within a few hours, and each time I opened the ticket, the response came, I think, after 10 or 15 minutes. So really recommend it. Right now I don't even know how I ever could trade without this software. So let's see if there are some questions. So I can see first question was, isn't thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers analytics software good enough? So this question was before the presentation. So after the presentation, I don't know if you would still ask this question. I mean, you could see all the capabilities, and to me, it's not even comparable. It's in different league. So, any other questions? I can still see few hands raised, so I can, if you're still interested to ask a question, I can let you unmute you. So let's start with Lloyd. Still interested to ask a question? Lloyd? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so if anyone is interested, still interested to ask a question, raise your hand or place it on the questions panel. Okay, Steve. Steve, yes?
Hello, can you hear me?
You're unmuted? Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, you can talk, Steve. Hello? We can hear you. Steve? All right, let's try Asher.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Is it possible to download any of the historical data?
The software downloads it automatically. It's not available for use outside of the platform, though.
That was the question. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bob?
Hi, Kim. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, quick question around, you said before is that the interaction when you send a trade, to, let's say to IB, was I clear in the fact you don't get the feedback on the trade, or you have to go to your own platform to do that?
That's correct. Currently, we don't adjust the fill prices from once the fill has occurred. So it's not that IB doesn't provide that. We just haven't added that to the platform. So currently, once the fill has occurred, we go back into the trade log in OptionNET and adjust the actual prices for the legs. It is something that is planned. It's just not been added at this point.
So when you issue a trade, right, and you have to change the price, where's the feedback mechanism on that, or is that still you need to go to your platform?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. So you really have to have both windows open at the same time in order to check the platform in order to see if the trade was successful.
Yes, I mean, I don't know, I'm not 100% familiar with how IB alerts you to the fill price. I assume it's on one of the tabs, isn't it? So looking at the individual leg prices, entering those into the trade log in OptionNET, that's how you'd achieve that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Victor? Victor? You raised the hand. You have a question, Victor? All right. Maybe not. Okay. Any other questions? So let's thank Andy. I myself learned a few new things today.
Okay.
So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And if you have any questions for me, that's the time to ask. Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks very much, Kim. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So, any questions for me?
So Kim, you said you use it?
Yes, Bob?
Okay, you said you use this now, correct?
Yeah, I have been using it for about 2 years at least.
Okay. And
Yeah, I find it extremely useful.
did you use
I
it?
cannot even imagine how I was trading without it before.
Okay, so the back testing capability, you know, I've seen other back testing systems on the forum. Is this the one you use exclusively now?
Well, I'm using both of them. I mean, I'm kind of comparing them and verifying because the charts that are posted on forum by Dustin, they are based on pretty much similar backtesting capabilities, but they just present it in very convenient way. So we can see 4 cycles back and see exactly the percentage of the trade, the value of trades as percentage of stock price. So it's very convenient. But then I can just go back and randomly enter a trade, let's say a cycle or 2 cycles ago, and see how it performs and see exactly. I mean, there is no substitute to do it manually when you do day by day or hour by hour and to see exactly how it performs, because the Dustin charts, they present only end of day data. And with this software, you can go basically in intervals of 5 minutes. So it's obviously, you can get better picture and you can see exactly how it performs. You can see exactly how stock moved, how ATM straddle performed, for example, or was it the gamma gain or vega gain,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. So I'm using both, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay. Brett. Brett? Okay, Victor? Victor, you can speak. You are unmuted.
Do you hear me now?
Yes?
Hi. Okay. Hi, Kim. My question is more general, not about OptionNET. I want to ask you about the best broker to use. I'm between TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, or Interactive Brokers. I'm talking about the best fields, best execution, and best possible fields between TD Ameritrade and Interactive Brokers. From your experience, because I'm just about to start trading options.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have experience with TD Ameritrade. I have been trading with Interactive Brokers for, I believe, almost 10 years. And my personal experience is excellent. But I can say that between the two, I think they are the best brokers that you can basically think about for options trading. Now, it also depends on commissions, because with Interactive Brokers, it's basically what they give you, that's it. You cannot basically get any better. I mean, they won't talk with you about commissions at all. With TD Ameritrade, you can negotiate. So it really depends. If you can get with TD Ameritrade commissions which are anywhere close to what Interactive Brokers offers, then it would be a close call. But with the standard commissions, I think there is no question that I would go with Interactive Brokers. Now, in terms of fields, I believe that Interactive Brokers get slightly better fields, but they're both pretty good. In terms of the platform, I think it's a matter of personal choice. Some people would say that Interactive Brokers is less intuitive, requires more learning curve, which might be true. But again, I think after you have learned the platform, I find it pretty good. So again, in terms of commissions, this would be the deciding factor for me.
Yeah, because exactly that. I have seen that TD Ameritrade is much more expensive, but also TD Ameritrade offers their complete platform or the analytics package, news, etc., for free, included on the yeah, without paying anything extra. And TD no, and Interactive Brokers charges depending on what do you need, right?
Well, in terms of platform, in terms of analytical tools, think of it this way. If you save in commissions very significant amount of money, depending on your account, depending on how much you trade, so you can take only part of that savings and spend on one software. And to me, one software is way better than anything that TD Ameritrade can offer. So again, if you save a lot of money on your commissions,
Yeah.
you can just afford to buy one software, right?
And how do you compare OptionNET, for example, with the included packages in TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, or Interactive Brokers? Do you think it's worth the extra price when those platforms have already very good analytic tools?
Well, Interactive Brokers, I'm not very impressed about the analytic tools. TD Ameritrade, yes, but I still think that one software is way better. I was using actually TD Ameritrade before I had one software, and you know what, one simple thing, when you do backtesting, TD Ameritrade, I believe, gives you data only end of day, right?
Yeah.
With one software, you can get any data with 5 minutes intervals. So it's not comparable. I mean, end of day data, it's nice, but in many times it's kind of, could be a little bit distorted because last 5 minutes, sometimes prices are a little bit distorted. And with one software, you can get real prices during the day and see all the dynamics, you see how they change, right?
Well, with TD Ameritrade, with a paper account, yeah, you get delayed data, but with a real account, I think you get real-time quotes and data and all that.
Real-time, yes, but not historical. Historical only only end of day.
Ah, okay, right.
Right.
One last thing about your service, because I'm very interested in steady options, starting with steady options. And once I heard from another guy that the only problem he sees, because yeah, he confirmed to me that your service is legit and all you are doing there is transparent and the best he has seen. But only one detail. He also told me that he wasn't able to get all the fields on your trades, on the trades you posted. So
Right.
that's my only concern before starting paying for your service, about the fields, to get the same fields as you.
Right. Well, what we do, we usually post, not usually actually, always post a discussion topic before I actually make the trade. So in the discussion topic, I always post the strategy that I'm going to use and the prices that I'm going to pay. So many members actually, after they stay with steady options for a few months and learn the strategies, so they actually become more independent and they can do trades before I do, they can do maybe scaling. So I found out that usually people can get pretty similar fields, at least if they don't chase. So many times a price might spike a little bit just after the alert and then come down. So the next day you might get similar prices. But generally speaking, this is a nature of options trading, that prices are very dynamic. So once I post my field, the price of underlining might be different even 10 minutes after. So if the price of the stock is different, then the price of the straddle will also change a little bit.
Yeah,
So it takes some time, it takes some patience, definitely. And I would be the last one to say that you can get performance like I post on my website with no effort. It will take some effort, definitely. But I believe it will.
Yeah, because I find your monthly returns very, very impressive compared to other markets. Not even in Forex you can do that without risking your whole account.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's do some more questions. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, Brett, hi.
Hey, Tim. I'm just curious about the, do you enter your trades through OptionNET when using IB, or do you enter your trades?
Brett, sorry, I can hardly hear you. You're on speaker or something?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hardly hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
A little bit better, yeah.
Okay. I was curious about, do you enter your trades through the IB platform, or do you enter it through OptionNet?
No, I'm doing it directly with interactive brokers. I guess it's a matter of, you know, I'm just used to do it this way. But
then you save your trade and track it in OptionNet is what you're basically doing, right?
Yeah, what I do, I usually just enter the trade at interactive brokers and then immediately enter it at OptionNet.
Okay. Okay, that's
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right, I think we're done for today. So thank you very much for attending. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And anytime if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, email me or send me private message or whatever, or post your questions on the forum if you remember. So thank you again and have a good day. Bye-bye.